1954 and was designed to be used in conjunction with his book, Tommy Armour Shows You How to Play Your Best Golf All the Time. To this day, it is considered to be the all-time best-selling book of golf instruction, with over 750,000 copies in print. It's estimated that over 3 million people have read this book, and many of the great golf professionals are included in this number. The book is included with this cassette, and using the two together should enable you to improve your golf score by 3 to 5 strokes. This program is divided into 3 segments: the grip and stance, the swing, and the short game. At the end of each segment, we will tell you which pages of the book to refer to for further instruction.
Here we are at a golf course, the famous Wingfoot Country Club at Mamaroneck, New York. A very logical place to begin a golf picture. And standing by, ready to start the instruction, is Tommy Armour. Tommy Armour is one of those rare figures in sports, a brilliant player who is also one of the greatest teachers. As a player, he won the U.S. Open, the British Open, the PGA, and most of the other big tournaments. And as a teacher, he has tutored some of the world's best golfers, and also some of the worst. But now it's your turn. The principal thing in golf is hitting a golf ball with a club. So we'll start with the club and the hands and the grip of the hands on the club. Remember this, the left hand guides the club and the right hand furnishes the power. The left hand guides and the right hand provides the power. Let's see how this grip is put together. First, the left hand, the guide hand. The club is placed along the base of the fingers, like this. A common error is to put the shaft across the palm of the hand. The proper position is across the base of the fingers. This position enables the fingers, when they close, to grip the club shaft very firmly. The principal points of pressure in the left hand are shown by the spots on the glove. After gripping the shaft with the fingers, the left thumb is placed along the right side of the shaft. We'll do that again. That doesn't mean here or there, but over on the right side of the shaft. When the left hand is positioned correctly, the V of the thumb and forefinger should point to the right shoulder. Remember, the function of the left hand is to guide the club head back to the ball during the swing, but you can't bring it back accurately unless the left hand grip is secure. And now to add the right hand to the grip. The left thumb fits snugly under the right thumb. The grip of the right hand is also in the fingers as they wrap around the club. The right thumb is in a natural position to the left of the shaft. We'll repeat that positioning. Both hands are fitted together compactly so that they can work together. Not apart like this, but compactly together. The pressure of the right hand grip is about 1/2 that of the left hand. In this grip, the little finger of the right hand overlaps. It can rest on top of the left forefinger, as Tommy does it, or curl around the exposed knuckle. Both methods are used. Suit yourself. As with the left hand, the V of the thumb and forefinger points to the right shoulder. The real key to the power of the right hand is in the thumb and forefinger combination. These two fingers should be as close together as possible. It is this combination that enables you to whip the club on the downswing and deliver power. The grip of the left hand encounters its most crucial test at the top of the backswing. If the left hand grip loosens like this, then it is almost impossible to regain control of the club and bring it back to the ball correctly. Don't let this happen. Putting the club shaft along the base of the fingers will make it easier for the fingers to remain closed. Now, this position may feel fine, but you'll get a tighter grip here. Now that the grip is set, let's get the rest of the body ready to hit the ball. Lining up your stance starts with the head of the club. The sole of the club should lie flat on the ground, not with the heel up or the toe up. Flat is correct. You should have this relaxed, upright stance, not bent over with the toe of the club up or too stiff with the heel of the club up. If you can't assume a proper stance and still keep the sole of the club flat on the ground, then consult your pro about getting a club of different design. Do not use a stiff stance. But as you see here, be comfortably upright with the knees flexed a bit. Bending the elbows will curtail the sweep of your swing and consequently cut down on power. The stance should be as upright as is comfortable for you. And now for the position of the feet. Assuming that the arrow points in the direction that the ball is supposed to go, we can illustrate the three basic positions of the feet. Here is the closed stance. The right foot is a few inches back from the line of flight with the toe turned slightly to the right. The square stance, the toes parallel with the line of flight. And the open stance. The right foot moves forward of the line and the left foot drops back slightly. Let's go over those stances again. The closed stance, right foot back. The square, toes parallel. And the open stance, right foot forward. The function of the stance is to control the amount of body turn. The closed stance used here by Tommy allows the greatest amount of body turn and therefore generates much more power in the swing. The open stance, on the other hand, tends to limit body turn and power. However, it also allows the least amount of body sway and therefore helps obtain a more accurate hit. To review the stances, here's the closed stance with the feet apart about the width of the shoulders. This stance should be used principally with the driver because a long hit is wanted, and the closed stance permits the hips and body to turn fully. Using a swing with full body turn helps generate power. Here are the feet only slightly closer together in a square stance. This is used with the longer hitting irons, like the 3 or 4 iron, when a big swing for distance is still needed. This stance allows more accuracy than the closed stance. And here, the feet are much closer together in an open stance. Ordinarily, this is used with shorter irons that have a lot of loft, like the number 8 or 9 iron. This is a stance for accuracy and not power. There is also the problem of the position of the ball in relationship to the feet. Here's the ball position in a line off the left heel. When placed here, the ball will tend to go high when hit. Not so high if centered between the feet. And here in a line off the right heel, the lowest line of flight. Low, higher, highest. Remember, even though the same club is used, the closer the ball is to the left foot, the higher it will travel. low, higher, highest. Now you are ready to use the fundamentals of grip and stance in order to swing away.
The grip is covered in Chapter 6 on pages 48 to 61 of the book. Pay particular attention to page 50 and the illustration showing how the left hand grips the club. The illustration on page 58 shows the right hand grip. The stance is covered in Chapter 7 on pages 62 through 80. Be sure to understand the illustrations on page 64. Also, note on pages 69 through 71 the proper way to hit an iron shot. The most important page in this entire book is page 72, which shows the relationship between the ball, feet, and hands at address. After reading Chapters 6 and 7, rewind the grip and stance segment of the tape and view it again.
Here's Tommy Armour showing you the kind of swing that is the goal of every would-be golfer. Let's examine what happens in a good swing. Tommy will hit toward the tree so that we can see the flight of the ball. For purposes of analysis, we can divide the swing into two parts: the backswing and the downswing. Now, the first thing you must learn if you want to acquire a good swing is to keep your head steady throughout the entire swing. Keeping the head steady maintains balance and also helps to bring the club head back to the ball with correct alignment. This is not the same as keeping your eyes on the ball. Here, Tommy keeps his eyes on the ball, but his head shifts enough to throw him off balance. Compare it to this correct head position. Keep the head steady throughout for balance. The hips, on the other hand, must be loose and free for turning. It is principally the hips that turn the body in both the backswing and the downswing. Watch the loose hip action here. Although the body turns fully, there isn't a shift of body weight from side to side. Your weight should favor your left foot throughout the swing, and here's why. Every club in your bag is built with a different angle of loft in its face. In order for that club face to impart its specific loft to the ball, it must hit the ball while it is on the downswing. That is, before the bottom of the swing arc has been reached. Having your weight more on the left foot helps ensure that the ball will be hit on the downswing and that the club face will work on the ball. If the weight is more on the right foot, the ball usually gets hit on the upswing, if it gets hit, and is either topped or scooped up. The club face hits with its front edge and therefore doesn't give its specific loft to the ball. In the backswing, the cocking of the wrists is delayed until near the end of the swing, as demonstrated here in exaggerated form. The movement of the left knee is a reliable index of the footwork that has accompanied the backswing. Let's look at the knee action in slow motion. The left knee moves in until it is pointing not too far behind the ball. This knee action helps the hips pivot correctly. Here now is the complete backswing, and we'll hold it so that we can check the important points. Left knee pointing behind the ball. Weight favoring the left foot. Full turn of the hips and shoulders. Head has remained steady, wrists cocked, and the grip is still secure, especially the left hand. We're ready now to move on to the second half of the swing, the downswing. Okay, Tommy. And there's the payoff, a solid hit. Keeping the head steady must be stressed again. Without that steady hub, the pivot around, nothing else can be made to work. As in the backswing, the hips swivel freely. The knees, too, must work during both parts of the swing. Left knee in on the backswing, right knee in on the downswing. Here's a profile view of the knee action. Put it all together, and it comes out like this. And now we come to the real secret of hitting power, the working of the wrists and the hands. The backswing must set up the proper conditions, the left arm straight and the wrists cocked back. This is the beginning in the creation of power. The principal purpose of the backswing is to achieve this position of the arms and wrists. And now the downswing starts. Again we stop. Look where his hands are, almost at the bottom of the swing. Yet, the club head is only halfway down. That's because his wrists are still cocked. He has delayed on cocking his wrists to the very last moment. Here is where the right hand really goes to work. It whips the club as the wrists uncock. That is the secret of power. Watch again the action of the wrists in this close-up. There it is, the hands almost at the bottom of the swing, and the wrists are still cocked. And the strength of that whipping action comes from the right thumb and forefinger combination. The final result of all those elements put together is this well-grooved swing. We come next to the use of the various clubs. Here's the driver, your longest hitting club when used correctly. Use the closed stance for the driver, meaning that the right foot is slightly back. The ball is opposite the left heel line. The hands are slightly behind the ball, and the weight of the body a little more on the right foot. Now, this is the only instance where the weight favors the right foot, because the driver face has very little off, and therefore you want to hit on the upswing. The teed-up ball also helps. The closed stance encourages an inside-out swing, which tends to give a slight hook to the ball's flight. The ball will continue to roll after it lands because of its overspin, and the additional yardage that you get is the plus factor. A club almost like the driver, but with a little more loft, is the brassy or number 2 wood. Because it gets the ball a little higher into the air, the brassy should be used when hitting with the wind. Here's the number 3 wood, or spoon. This is the club to use for long shots from good lies on the fairway. And this is the number 4 wood. Use this club for close lies on the fairway, or for getting out of the rough when the lie isn't too good. Here's the stance for these woods. It is a slightly closed stance, and the ball is just a bit back from the left heel line. The hands are over the ball, and the weight a little more on the left foot. Now remember that these woods hit down on the ball instead of up, as the driver does. Here's a shot with a number 3 wood. Now we come to the irons. Starting with the number 2 iron, a tough club for beginners, each successively higher numbered iron, 3, 4, 5, 6, and so forth, gives us a little more lift to the ball and at the same time a little less distance. When hitting with the irons, here's the stance. It is square. The feet are a little closer together than they were for wood clubs. On a good lie, the ball is usually equidistant between the feet. The hands are ahead of the ball and the weight slightly more on the left foot. Here's Tommy hitting with a 4-iron as seen in slow motion. When you have mastered this swing for power, you'll be ready to study the swing for accuracy, the short game.
We suggest that you read chapters 8, 9, 10, and 11 on pages 81 through 109. Also, note the illustrations shown on pages 84 and 85, which concern the knees and the movement of the hips on the backswing. The illustrations on pages 88 and 89 show the correct knee action on the downswing. Pages 91 to 93 cover a very important part called waggle. Waggle gives momentum to your swing. Chapter 10, which begins on page 94, puts the grip and stance together to create a fine golf swing. Chapter 11, on pages 103 through 108, covers the pause at the top of the swing. Again, after you have read these 4 chapters, rewind and view the swing segment of the tape.
The short game in golf. Those instances when we want accuracy rather than power. Here's a short hole getting the Tommy Armour treatment. He uses an 8-iron for this shot. However, you can play it with less loft and make it run up. Tommy uses a 6-iron for this. The stance is subject to constant adjustment. Here's the stance for a full backswing. But as your lie gets closer to the cup, the feet come closer together, the backswing is not as full, and the position of the ball moves in closer and back toward the right foot. The stance becomes more open, the grip goes lower on the club, and the backswing is shortened. Finally, the shot is played principally with the arms and hands and with very little body action. Here is an approach shot less than 100 yards from the green. Use an 8 or a 9-iron. This is the kind of accuracy that saves strokes. Again, you might not want to loft the shot, but run it up. Tommy uses the 6-iron. Remember, the feet come closer together as the distance shortens, and everything kind of tightens up. At this point of play, there are no second chances to make up lost yardage. A bad hit means a lost stroke. For that shot, don't rotate your wrists. Do it this way. This chip shot from the edge of the green is done differently. Use a club that will keep the ball at a low trajectory and make it roll. The 5 and 6 irons are the clubs for this job. The stance is a square one with the feet quite close together. The ball is centered between the feet. Keep the body still and let the hands do the job. That, my friends, is chipping. The short shot pitched over a bunker is one of the most important stroke-saving shots in the game. Fear ruins most shots here. Forget about the trap. It's just another shot. Simple, isn't it? This shot is usually played with a 9-iron or a flanged niblick, commonly called a wedge. The shot is played from an open stance with the feet close together. The hand should be well in front of the ball and the weight definitely on the left foot. Your weight must not shift during the shot. Watch it in slow motion. Take more backswing than you think you may need. The ball, popping up in the air, will cut down distance surprisingly. Hit these short ones firmly and crisply. Here's another bunker shot. Just a short swing is used. The average golfer may get into difficult places. There are no special tricks for this lie. It's the same short pitch shot that's used in so many places. And remember, your weight mainly on the left foot and keep it there. The outside-in hit will give backspin to the ball and make it stick on the green. When your ball drops on a sloping fairway, a fairly common circumstance, an adjustment in stance must be made. Now, the important thing to understand about a sloping lie is that it keeps the ball from lying at the point where the lowest part of your swing would normally occur. So you adjust your stance, going into an open stance for a downhill lie. Since this will cause you to slice, aim the shot well to the left. On an uphill lie, the reverse is true, but the theory is still the same. In order to get the ball lying at the lowest part of your swing, close the stance and, since the ball will now hook, aim more to the right. And now we come to the dreaded nemesis of the average player, the sand trap. But don't let it throw you. It's not that tough if you know what you're doing. The shot is played with a flanged niblick, a heavy club with a short shaft and a wide flange on its sole to permit it to slide through the sand under the ball rather than dig into the sand. The stance is an open one, with the ball a little back from the left heel line. The feet should be flat and solid on the sand. In the address, the club head is not allowed to touch the sand. Now, here's the shot in slow motion. Since the sand, rather than the club face, actually contacts the ball, there will be no spin on the ball. The club strikes the sand 2 or 3 inches behind the ball and goes right through. Never stop the club after the ball comes up, but keep it going. When the shot to be played is close to the side of the bunker and a sharp rise of the ball is required, then the shot should be played off the left foot, like this. Well, that covers most of the clubs, except the putter. That one is a problem. The designated par for any golf course allows half of its strokes for putting, yet there is no universally accepted putting method. Here are some putting stances frequently used. Feet close together, a slightly wider stance, the club centered like a pendulum, weight definitely on the left foot, the right foot forward. And as for putting grips, some golfers prefer the reverse overlap or variations of it in order to get better right-hand control of the club. Others keep the same grip for the putter that they use with the other clubs. Some have even tried putting one-handed. Your pro can show you a dozen variations to choose from. Here's the style of putting that Tommy uses, and his suggestion is, use any stance or grip that feels comfortable to you, as long as it makes the putter blade move in a straight line toward the hole. Learn to gauge the distance accurately. Don't baby the ball. Hit it with confidence. Remember, regardless of what your stance or grip is, the putter blade should move in a straight line toward the hole. And above all, keep your head perfectly still. Try practicing your putting like this. Place 4 balls 2 feet away from the cup. After putting them in, move the balls increasingly further away until you miss, and then start all over again. So, thanks to Tommy Armour for teaching us to play your best golf.
The short game is covered in Chapter 12 on pages 110 through 130. This one section of the tape will easily take 3 strokes off your game by showing you how to get close enough for just 1 putt. Chapter 13 covers the philosophy of putting. Read it and practice with 4 balls as shown on the tape. After reading Chapters 12 and 13, rewind the tape and view it again. By the combination of reading the Tommy Armour book, viewing the tape, and practicing, you should be able to improve your golf game by 3 to 5 strokes. Thank you for watching, and good golfing to you.